going, everyone? AFC Finners, only a couple of weeks after venturing down to the south coast of Hampshire, we've returned for Eastleigh in National League action. Hello, Tom Aldo. This is the ground we've wanted to do for quite a while. It looks like one of the more exciting ones in the National League, and it's been, thankfully the weather's improved, not as cold as it was last week. So mid-table clash, Eastleigh against Altrincham, a long journey for the Mancunians that have made the journey today. Walking to the ground now, hopefully should be a good laugh. Here we are on the way to the grounds, and we've seen one of the most useless things I've ever seen. One hand clock. That is a chocolate teapot if I've ever seen one. Well, here we are. It's not bad at all, very big. As I was wondering. Nice Eastleigh tankard, quite like the look of that. 50 quid shirts though, bloody hell. I go and purchase this in the club shop. £3.50 for a pin badge and £3 for a programme. Don't know quite why the pin badge is more expensive, but it's alright. Look at this, it's a club bar. More about this, that looks nice. So, I've got to go inside, but before we do, let's find out a bit about today's hosts, Eastleigh. Eastleigh FC were founded in 1946 as Swaithing Athletic by a group of friends in a pub. They joined the Hampshire League in 1950 and 7 years later moved to their current home at the Silverlake Stadium. This decade also saw a number of promotions, and they'd be renamed to Eastleigh in 1980. They were a founding member of the Wessex League in 1986 and will remain there until they won it in 2003, achieving promotion to Division 1 East of the Southern League. And a shake-up of the league system saw them ascend to a Premier Division of the Isthmian League, and they've gone on to be promoted to the Conference South after defeating Leighton in the playoff final, also winning the Russell Coates Cup. They won the Hampshire Senior Cup in 2012 and win the Conference South in 2014, entering the 5th tier for the first time. They would later go on to reach the 3rd round of the FA Cup before being defeated by Brentford away in the 3rd round. They have remained in the National League, and under the management of former Southampton goalkeeper Kelvin Davis, they're hoping to improve on their 13th place finish from last season. Overall, they have won 1 Southampton Senior League West, 2 Hampshire League Division 3 titles, 1 Hampshire League Division 2 title, 1 Wessex League title, 1 Conference South title, 1 Russell Coates Cup, 1 Hampshire Intermediate Cup, 1 Hampshire Midweek Floodlit Cup, and 1 Hampshire Senior Cup. And a bit of trivia, the club are nicknamed Spitfires after the aeroplane as it was first flown from Eastleigh Aerodrome. And the plane model also features on the club badge. So those are our hosts, Eastleigh. Let's have a look inside their home, Silverlake Stadium. Array of options, in case anyone's interested. Tom and I have got the exact same thing for £3.50, hot chocolate and 9 bar. When all I want to do is try. Somebody told me. The pitch, 5 minutes of Altrincham, and the ball comes you, your Eastleigh! And here's how the 2 sides line up, starting our visitors from Altrincham. Two Boldies link up. Opening goal for Altrincham in the 6th minute, scored by number 10, Alex Mooney. Only about 6 minutes in, and Eastleigh have a former Premier League goalkeeper in Kelvin Davis as the manager. Joe McDonald has not been listening to him. He's had the ball in his box, and it's been stolen off him by Altrincham forward Alex Newby, and he's tucked it in for 1-0. That's the risk you can take playing out from the back, and that's why the Mancunians lead. The small collection of away fans go wild, 1-0 to the away side. An Eastleigh player has just laid a hook on an Altrincham player. He's decked him straight to 4, straight red card. Eastleigh down to 10 men. Can't remember I've seen someone send off for a punch before. Oh God! Well, despite knocking out of the Altrincham players, Eastleigh had a free kick out of that, and Ludwig Franchiliket come to meet it, tucked into one corner. 1 goal apiece, incredible. I guess you could say this game was lacking a punch. It's found it now. 1-1. Alright, there we go. Got Dr. Pepper, Smith will be pleased. A nice cheesy chips, crinkle cut, and some nacho cheese on top. Very nice.
Goal for Altrincham in the 71st minute, scored by number 22, Tom Crawford.
Well, moments after I said the game had lost its flash, it's suddenly the momentum has been gained by Altrincham, and Tom Crawford's got a shot on the edge of the box, hit it towards goal, it's trickled into the bottom corner. I thought Tom said it would finish 1-1, but I won't be asking for the lottery numbers. 2-1 to the away side.
Eastleigh 1, Altrincham 2. A massive thank you to you for all of your support. Today's match day attendance was 1,931, including 83 away fans.
Right, so it's eerily quiet now. I literally just went to the toilet and come back out and there's like 4 people left in the stadium. I've never seen a ground empty so quickly, but fun afternoon. Not the best game, but still plenty of action, and I definitely think Altrincham deserve that overall. Fair play to those supporters who made the long journey south. Hopefully it's not too cold on the way back up to Lancashire. Slightly long journey for us, but it'll be good fun. Stick the late kick-off on 5 Live, find somewhere nice for dinner. It'll be a good laugh. Thank you to Melda. So that was Eastleigh, another fun day on the south coast. Shame about the result for the home side, but still really enjoyed it. Good to tick another ground off. All the best to both sides for the rest of the season. Time to head home. We've got a couple more exciting games coming up before a little bit of a break of my birthday period, but it's been a fantastic start to the year for ground hopping, and I'm very excited about the adventures to come. Time to head home now. Thank you to Maldo for joining me. Time to rate the experience. So we will start off with welcome, and not too bad. You were able to engage with people around you, and a lot of them were a good laugh. You could like joke with them and stuff. Staff were like pretty much fine. I think I've had clubs that are more engaging than this one, but nothing too bad about the welcome. We felt perfectly comfortable, were able to be ourselves around them. There were 2 fans who weren't directly to us, like, no, so there was just one kid who like, when the Eastleigh player decked someone, he was saying like, "Oh, get up," and like he just was so horrendously biased, even by football fan standards. It was just remarkable. And like, I think there were 1 or 2 bad eggs like that, but overall didn't ruin it or anything. It's a hard, decent welcome. It's a nice place for a ground hopper to go. There's a nice vibe overall there, and I felt like really comfortable there. So it doesn't necessarily go out of its way to welcome you much, but it's a nice place to watch football, and we have a good experience. I feel fairly comfortable overall. So there's not too much to say about the welcome generally, but I think it's pretty decent, so I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. Food and drink, pretty good. They had a nice diverse array of options. They had burgers, dirty fries and hot dogs, so plenty of different choices you could get. It looks like there was a bit in the corner that did wraps as well. I didn't get round to that side just because it was so far, but they definitely put a lot of thought into food and drink and scattered it out well. Like there were different kiosks in between the stands, so that if you wanted to get something at half time, it wasn't too crowded. I was only in the queue for a few minutes, so I got chips at half time, whereas other grounds I've missed start part of the second half because of how long I've been queuing. So we thought out well food and drink, and I think the chips and stuff, they're trying to do something a little bit different. Crinkle cut and the nacho cheese on the cheesy chips, it's different to what I've had at other clubs and was quite nice. So yeah, pretty decent quality food. Hot chocolate was nice, and I think there's a really good array of options. Definitely a lot of thought put into food and drink, and I think they do a really good effort, really tasty, and won't leave you hungry. So fair play, they thought that out really well. And the fact there was a veggie burger option available, I wasn't really in the mood for a burger at like lunchtime. I was saving that for dinner, but it's nice that those options are available. Nice that there's different types of chips as well. So yeah, really good variety, a lot of thought and effort put into that. I'll give the food drink a 9 out of 10. Atmosphere, not too much to write home about, to be honest. There were some people trying to generate noise, but it was fairly quiet, like only little moments where you could hear either sets of fans. There were some kids at the drums and stuff, but it just didn't really generate anything. And I thought for a decent amount of people that were there, the atmosphere probably could have been a bit better, but overall seemed quite flat. So I'll probably give the atmosphere 3 out of 10. Stadium, it's not bad. I like the fact that you can have a ticket and go like to most areas that you want. I think the stand we were in the first half could probably do with a bit of improvements. I think there's probably a way you could create a stand like that didn't have the bollards in the way, but it's nice that you could go behind the goal, and the views from there were really good. It wasn't obscured or anything, and overall it's a pretty half decent stadium. I think like the stand opposite us, it was quite weird. It has this old Cheltenham thing where the main stand doesn't cover the whole area, because there was obviously a bit of an eyesore, but there was just this big gap where you could see buses going through. I think they could really do with extending the stand so it covers the whole way, and like some areas could do with like tidying up a bit. But no, it's a decent stadium in a really good location. You can park up there easily, and it's a nice walk to the ground near residential areas, so it's easily accessible. And there is decent thought put into the ground. I like that you just have the freedom to choose where you can go, and apart from the poles in the way, those stands are pretty good. Like, find a stand in and plenty of areas to like lean on if you want to, but you can also sit down if you want. So they give plenty of choices for everyone. I think it's really good. I just think they could maybe do a bit of work to make it slightly better so the view isn't impaired. But the two seated bits did look really nice as well. So it's got a good variety, and I like the freedom of movements that they got. And there was definitely a lot of care taken in like the decorations of like areas like the club shop. It was really clean, up to date, and the fact they had multiple club bars, you had that big one, you had that little one, and again, like I was saying about the food, all the kiosks, it was well designed so that it doesn't get too crowded. Club shop was really nice, very clean and up to date too, so definitely take a lot of pride. They don't let things rot and go to dust, which I really respect. So I think there's a lot of pride taken in the stadium. I've highlighted the areas that need to be improved. I'm sure they'll do that in due course. So pretty well thought out stadium for the level at. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And finally, value for money. For the most part, it was decent. Like, you know, I spent $6.50 on the combination of the pin badge and program. The food wasn't too expensive, like about $3.50 for chips, about £2 for hot chocolate, and only $1.25 for chocolate bar. So I thought it was pretty good. It won't leave you out of pocket when you go there. I did think the ticket being over £20 was probably a bit more expensive than it needs to be for a mid-table National League club, but at least in the match day programme that I did read at the start, the chairman was sort of explaining they've sort of had some issues and need to generate more money. So at least like they're honest about it and upfront and saying, look, we're sorry we're charging this much, but there is reason. At least there's honesty, at least there's transparency. I can respect that. Like I said, the stadium is well maintained, so you can see that the money you spend on the club does find its way back into it. It's not being put in anyone's pockets or anything like that. I do think the ticket was a bit expensive, and maybe if, like he said in the programme, he wants to get 3,000 people there, maybe people who realistically support Southampton who don't have a game to go to might be more willing to go if it's cheaper. But like, they're smart, they know what they're doing, and there was a decent crowd and people in Eastleigh merch. They weren't just like, they weren't casuals. Obviously people are very passionate about the club, and they've obviously got like a decent loyal fan base that they generated, but they've obviously thought out really well how to persuade people to buy season tickets. So hopefully they'll be sustainable in the future. Apart from the ticket, the cost was pretty good, so I'll probably give the value for money an 8 out of 10. So that was Eastleigh, another weekend in Hampshire. Nice to see more National League action. Really nice club, always wanted to do it, and hoping they have better games in the future. It wasn't the best match itself, but a really fun experience to see. And again, fair play to all the Altrincham fans who made the long journey from Manchester. A few more exciting games coming up before we prepare for our trip to Budapest, which I'm very excited about. If you'd like to support the channel, you can see the link to my Patreon down below and support the channel for as little as £1 a month. More ground to ground videos coming soon. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. AFC Finners out.